Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about the Vongon Polyphrase and this little new setup that I put together to play sample-based glitch music, supported also by the OP1, which allow me to play some instrument on top. So, as you hear, I'm using the polyphrase in a peculiar way. While it can be a very beautiful, simple delay, it has this capacity of moving between time windows and move the two sliders and create interesting feedback and glitches, if I can call that. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, before going on and explaining what's happening here, as usual, some way you can help my page. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Super easy, super free. Then you can buy from the affiliate link down below. I will get a tiny percentage and the price will be exactly the same for you. And then you can become a Patreon. On Patreon, I do in-depth session, one-on-one lesson. I always reply to your question. So that's it. Let's go back to what we just listened right now and how I am using this setup. First, Octatrack is used mostly for sample playing. I have 6 tracks of sample and then 2 true track. One is the OP1, which enter in track 7. Track 8 is the Vongon Polyphrase. So then the output of the Octatrack goes inside the Autobahn to get some nice gluing. I use compressor, tiny bit of drive, and that's it. Now, the things works in a peculiar way. I have the Q out of the Octatrack going inside the Polyphrase and Polyphrase back in the 8. So with this slider, I can decide the volume of the track 8, which is the Polyphrase. So I can decide, it's not really a send return in this way, but I can decide how much of the signal from the polyphrase I will use. Of course, I put the mix 100%. Okay. But what is the polyphrase? It's a delay. It's a dual delay. The interesting part is like you can use it unsynced and you have these two sliders controlling two different delays that then are output in left and right. In this way, you can create interesting things. It is inspired by 1970 early digital delay. For example, the Lexicon Primetime, that I have it down there, and actually it has that some kind of playability that delay has. Let's go through the control. First, you have 2 in, 2 out, but it can be also used in mono. So right now I'm using it in stereo because the 2 Q out goes inside, and then the 2, it can be mono out or stereo out. There's 3 different echo style. One is dual stereo. Dual stereo mean when it's unsynced, you have 2 different delay line. And you can see the timing by the pulsating light. This means that if I press one note, if I send some signal, you will have on the 2 left and right output different timing. And this is pretty interesting because you can create phasing delay. So if you put the repeats, for example, at here that I find out is the 100%, you will have a signal that keep repeating itself and creating this soundscape that I really like. So let's add something on top. In this way, you can create something that is very suitable when you start a live performance, for example, you can set the mood. You have a time knob here that has different length, maximum length for the delay, and it goes from 85 millisecond towards 22 millisecond. So if you want to also clear completely the buffer, you press the echo for 3 seconds, then it blinks, and now the buffer is clean. So if you put 22 seconds, for example, you can record a phrase that lasts a lot, too much. Let's put something like 10 seconds, and let's again record something, and let's put 100%. Maybe turn that on. So let's start again. And here it is. Now, each one of the two output are independent, and they will keep going, looping now around probably 8 seconds or something like that. Let's talk about the other few knob here. You have a tone that is an EQ that brighten the output or darken it. Then you have a modulator, and it can go on a sinusoidal wave, creating a sort of vibrato, as you can hear, or it can go a random wave shape, which can create those sort of modulation that we all like, that seems like a cassette. A mixer, so 0 to 100%, considering that I'm using it in send and return, it's 100%. MIDI inputs allow you to control every parameter through MIDI. I didn't get there yet, but it's pretty cool. And then you have trig function. One is for the tap tempo. We will list them with some musical things after. And then there's also infinite. And infinite, if you trigger, it will freeze the buffer and allow you to play with it without adding anything on it. And then the sync button that would sync both of the slider to the left slider, and the echo style. So dual stereo, you have two separate delay, ping pong. The two signal will start mixing through each other, creating a ping pong effect. And then the final one is mono with external loop. This will transform it in a mono delay. And you can use the out right and in right as a send and return. Hence you can put another effects into the loop, the internal loop of the polyphrase. Cool feature that I didn't try yet, but pretty interesting. So as you can hear, we created this interesting soundscape going on, and we can keep adding stuff. Let's create something interesting. Let's add this. Whatever I'm playing is recording. Here it is. As you can hear, there's the depth, the modulation that created this warbliness, pretty nice. If repeats goes more than 100%, you start adding volume and add some crunchiness, so that's up to you. What you can do now, you can play with the time and shorten the loop. The interesting thing is when you move the time, there's no artifact like tape speed or not. So this is good because you can play live and have it not changing the sound, the pitch of the sound. The only thing is like when you shorten the time, then somehow you cut whatever you recorded before. So you need to be careful. So you can go here, but then go back to a longer... Ah, no, actually, no. It cut until a certain point. See, that's something I didn't know. But you can then record on top of it. Let's add some nice tune. Here it is. So it's interesting because you can play with the window, shorten it up, long again, make the time long again, and build on top of that. So these allow you to create performances out of nowhere, like just keep looping the things. Of course, I have also the possibility to add some compression and drive here. And using it with the Octatrack, I can decide to block the signal, so I remove the cue, and now I can play on top of it. Let's find some sound like this. Now these sounds won't go inside the loop, so I can keep playing. Whenever I want to add something, I cue, and here it is. And now this will come sooner or later. Now, what I wish could have been done, maybe in a future firmware, that would be awesome. If I move the 2 slider to change the phasing effect between the 2 reverb delay line, you will hear like the tape speeding or slowing here. And this will be feedback into the delay. So this could be cool, but I wish that I can avoid that. So I wish they will update the firmware and make the possibility to have that working exactly as time, because it's very cool to create these things and then have the way to just move into the 2 phasing effect and keep it as is. Then you can actually play with that and create all of this cool phasing effect. Time double the time from 85 to 22 seconds. So basically every time you multiply by twice the speed or half the speed, whatever. So that said, let's listen to it more on a classic delay. I prepared this cute sequence in the OP1. Let's listen to it. Simple, simple. Let's now set the Vongon as a tap tempo synced delay. So you press the trig here. Once you do that, both the sliders sync to itself. Again, let's set the brighter tone, no modulation, and let's now bring the volume in. So now we have the dual stereo. We can listen to the ping pong. It's very beautiful. It's very moody, very vintagey. Hear the modulation happening. I like the random modulation because it had this sort of very beautiful warbliness. And this also is very nice. As you can see, you can divide by half or make it longer. And you can move the slider to have different division. You just have to the left one. And here the glitch part. I really love playing with this kind of stuff. Oh, listen to this, super nice. Of course, if you don't want to hear this kind of stuff, you turn off the volume. Let's now bring the initial example. I also sending this sound there. And hear all of this interesting texture that's happening. You can fade in and then maybe unsync the things and go whatever, it happens, it happens. You can clear the buffer. And I love this. It's super playable, super fun. Alright, I think I showed you what I wanted. As usual, there's a lot of demo of this one. It came out a couple years ago or something like that, so I wanted to show something that I didn't see so far, and like this glitchiness, this way of using it as an instrument, and it really complements well the Octatrack and the OP1. And let me actually also tell me why I got so inspired. I've been to a live performance recently of one of the artists that became one of the artists that I like more, Oora, previously releasing music as Ulla Strauss, and she was playing 2 SP404 and using a delay, Boss delay as an instrument, and he had this beautiful way on how she would introduce feedback loop and delay. I was super inspired. So that made me think, let's use delays as instrument. They can add so much to your music, especially if they sound as good as this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.